Hi, this is a webinar on the Schedule setting in the Setup tab on the ThinkWave system. First, click the Setup tab. In this video, we're going to go through all the settings available under Schedule. Click on Year. Here is where you can add the years, terms, subterms, periods, day schedules, and days of the week. To add a year, click on Add Year at the top left. This adds a school year using the rollover method. Here, it will copy students, classes, and settings to the new or previous year. Select the rollover in the direction you want to go from the pull-down menu. Roll over to the next year carrying all the data with it, or roll over to the previous year to input historical data. Then click Create Year. To select a different year at any time, you can click on the pull-down menu at the top right. If you need to change the beginning or end date of the school year to a later date, then you need to change the terms first. I'll show you how to do that in a second. Now go back to the Setup, Schedule, and Year. Creating a year will automatically create terms and subterms. You can add custom terms by clicking on Add Term. The terms and subterms have to fall within the dates of the school year. Here you can add the name, start date, and end date, and any optional tags. And here you have the option to exclude that term from report cards and transcripts. To edit the term that's already been created, click on the term. This gives you the option to edit the beginning and end date, which is where you would need to change it before you can change the date in the school year. If you don't need the terms created in ThinkWave by default, you can delete them here by clicking on the Delete button at the bottom left. The terms are selectable by going to the Classes tab, and you can select which terms apply to that class. Go back to the year, and here you can either edit the subterms, like quarters, or final, by clicking on the subterm name, or create new ones within each term by clicking the Add Subterm link next to the term. Like how the terms have to fit within the year, you must change the beginning and end dates in the subterms to be able to change the dates of the terms. This is important if, for instance, when rolling over to the school year, the start date changes within the next year. Like now the school year starts on July 1st instead of June 30th. Because the term date starts on June 30th, you have to change the start date within the first subterm to July 1st, then change the term date, and finally the school year start date. And if the school date starts on June 29th, then you have to change the school year date first, then you can change the terms and the subterms. That way the subterm start and end dates are always within the dates of the terms, and the dates of the terms are always within the school year. To assign the terms, go to the Classes tab. You can select which terms applies to the classes here. Only the terms show up here, not the subterms. So if you choose one of the terms, then the subterm will automatically be included in that. For details on grading within subterms, go to Visit Teacher Account on the right-hand side. Then go to the Setup tab and click on Grading Options. And here you have the option to have ThinkWave automatically calculate the term grades by putting in the percent of what each subterm counts towards on the final grade by clicking Average Subterms and putting in the percent for each quarter. It has to total 100%. So for instance, you can have the first quarter count for 40%, the second quarter for 40%, and then the final for 20%. And the ThinkWave system will automatically calculate the term grade. This particular setting is not in the administrator view, so you have to be within the teacher's view to access it. Now click Return from Visit at the top right. Now go back to the Setup tab, and under Schedule, click Periods. Here's where you can create custom periods or edit existing ones. You can have an all-day period, like for an elementary class. It doesn't matter if periods overlap. Here you add periods by clicking the Add Period link. And here you add the name, and here the start and end times. You must use a 24-hour format, so 1300 hours instead of 1 p.m. Here you can add optional tags, and here you can select if you want the period to record attendance automatically. You can edit the periods automatically created in the ThinkWave system by clicking on the period name. To assign periods to classes, click on the Classes tab and go down to the Schedule where you can assign the different periods for the days. There's also the ability to assign no meeting on a particular day, and there would be no attendance taken on that day. Now go back to the Setup tab, and under Schedule, select Day Schedule. Day schedules are an option for days where the schedule would be different, like for instance a minimum day where it ends earlier. You can add custom schedules by clicking the Add Schedule link, and add the name of the custom schedule you want, like minimum day, or if you want it to be an A-B schedule. Once the schedule is created, you edit it by clicking on the name, like minimum day here. And here you can select where the periods are in that day by adding or removing them here. And you can change the start and end time for each period here. You can delete the custom schedule by clicking on the Delete button at the bottom left. I will show you how to assign a custom schedule to specific days in a second. Going back to Schedule, here on Days of the Week, you can add a day of the week by clicking Add, or you can delete it by clicking on the trash can icon. Once a day is added, it becomes available here on the Classes tab. This will determine the days in which attendance gets marked, unless otherwise noted by holidays or custom schedules. Back to the Setup tab in Schedule. Monthly calendars and holidays is where you can select whether a day has a default schedule, a custom schedule, or whether it's a holiday. You will have to assign each custom schedule to each day manually. So for instance, if you have an A-B schedule, you'll have to manually assign each day. Click on the month below. You can only select days that are within the designated school year. Click on a day, and you can select the schedule from the pull-down menu. Here's where you can select a custom schedule. Or you could select if there's no classes that day, like for a holiday. And here you can enter an optional name. Now go back to the Setup tab. And these are the options available for the Schedule and Setup tab in the ThinkWave system. Thanks for watching.